4 years, 4 movies, hundreds of millions of dollars, all to lead up to this moment, the release of Justice League. So, was the greatest collaboration of superheroes ever worth it? Yes and no. I'll give you the good, bad, and the ugly, the difficulty of balancing characters, and the politics and theologies being discussed. I am Ben Davies. This is The Real Rebel Review. Alright, so before I get to Justice League, let me give you a quick reason why I break up my reviews into 3 parts. I was having a conversation with a friend in LA about Thor Ragnarok, and he loved it. I didn't personally like it as much, and he said, well, maybe you're looking through a political lens. And of course, like we all do, we all have our biases. That's why I try to go into 3 different categories. My view review is my attempt to be as objective as possible. Just, will anyone that generally goes to the audience or go to the movies enjoy it? Will someone that just bought a ticket to watch a movie and enjoy it, will they enjoy it? My critic review is more about me personally, things that I think they could have done better, things that I think they kind of spun, or specific political points they're trying to push an agenda with that I might not agree with. And because I'm a Christian, there's also a lens that I always look to with faith and values, and so I like to break it down through that lens as well. So I have 3 different categories to try to give you a mix of things that are going on that they did well, they didn't do well, and all that sort of thing. So I hope that makes sense. Now, let's go back to the Justice League. The Justice League was made for allegedly $300 million. The opening weekend it's grossed about $166 million, so a pretty good start so far. It was directed by Zack Snyder. So spoilers ahead. So I'm going to tell you ahead of time that you should go see this movie. It's worth a see. I'm going to break down specifically why, but just so you know, minor spoilers ahead, potentially. All right, let's do this. I'm going to give this movie as a viewer a 4 out of 5. I know there's a lot of buzz going on, like why would you possibly give it that high? Well, it actually is exactly in line with the viewer review and critic review basically of Rotten Tomatoes. Right now it's at 85% from viewers enjoyed the movie. The reason why this is because it was a fun, elaborate mess of a movie that just goes all over the place with these really unique and awesome characters. Also, they do a great job of balancing action to highlight these specific gifts and character traits going on with each character on screen. So the sequences change with each person, everyone has their own skill. It's beautiful to watch the way Zack balanced their specific fight scenes. However, that's about the only balancing this movie did as far as story and characters and all that kind of stuff, because there's just so much going on in an hour and 55 minutes. There's no way everything can be fully fleshed out. It's very similar to X-Men Apocalypse, where there's these beautiful moments that are just incredible to watch, that you feel and you're drawn to, but there's so much going on, it's hard to follow the actual plot and storyline because it's just too much all at once. It's definitely worth a watch, and it makes me very hopeful for upcoming movies, specifically with the individual characters. Now for my critic review, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5, which I know is hitting it hard, but it's just because I wanted so much out of this movie. There's a few problems with this, but I'm going to focus on the characters because I think characters are the most important part of any story. Now there's 3 origin stories going on at once in this movie. I think we all would have just loved to see Wonder Woman and Batman on screen again in their own movie, but it's cool we get to be introduced to these characters for future films. The problem with this movie is all these characters are specifically different, very unique characters, and they all have an individual motivation that is never fully fleshed out. The things that they're struggling with that makes them unique. Alright, so for example, Wonder Woman. Save men from evil. Not killing evil men, but instead stopping them from the evil satanic forces that are influencing them. Along the way, she learns that all men are corruptible and capable of horrors. However, with guidance, they can achieve unbelievable good. Will she become the inspiration and leader they all need, and do they deserve her? Superman, all-powerful, and because of his love for mankind, will lay down his life for them despite their narrow-minded opinions of him because of the love of his fathers. The motivation of trying to be the son that his fathers had called and been the example for him to be, and his uncanny, unquestionable love and sacrifice for Lois Lane. Batman witnessed firsthand the depravable nature of man, his parents' murdered life shaken. He is suspicious of any evil nature and power over people, as well as what happens even in the upper echelon in Wayne Enterprises, seeing the corruption and what power can do to the individuals beneath them. Chooses to live life as a symbol to instill a healthy fear to anyone willing to do crime or harm to the innocents. Cyborg, brought back to life, half man, half machine, struggles with what he is. Is he someone or just simply an experiment gone wrong? Motivation? What should he do with the life he has? Flash, the fastest man in the world with no direction. His father in jail, he seeks guidance as he grows into a man and one of the most powerful members of the DCU. With no direction, what should his calling be? Aquaman, a man stuck between 2 worlds, given up at birth by his mother, Queen of Atlantis, for great love and safety for him, raised by a humble lighthouse worker. Aquaman loves the humans that raised him, but struggles with abandonment, knowing that he will be inevitably called back to the seas to be the King of Atlantis. Now, all these characters are amazing, and their individual conflicts are incredible. Their motivations are specific, and you want to see each one of them overcome these specific struggles with their characters in their life to be the people at the end of the movie we all want them to be. However, there's so much going on, you never get any time to fully flesh out any specific character. The only thing that brings them together is the most cliche thing ever, which is the world is ending, so obviously we must put together all our trivial things aside to save everyone and the world and mankind. That is also the big problem with the world ending things. You must have the characters fully fleshed out before you get to that, because obviously that motivation trumps everything else. But this gives me so much hope for the individual movies coming out. Obviously Wonder Woman was fantastic, Man of Steel was great. It's going to be incredible to see what they can potentially do with the standalone Aquaman movies, the Flashpoint movie, Wonder Woman 2, all these cool things coming out. Now my faith and value section, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. I'm also getting into a little bit of politics in this. There is a slight theme being spoken throughout about how man is destroying the world through global warming. Because there's so much going on, they never fully fleshed this out, but of course Ben Affleck's character does address this like once or twice during the movie. There was also some weird moment in the beginning of the movie where men are just trying to instill terror for whatever political gain or reason. With the Wonder Woman opening scene, it's like these IRA members or something that are going to blow up this building, and you're like, why? I guess the terrorist attack shouting Allah Akbar in London was a little bit too cliche. It's happened a little too much. I don't know. And on a faith level, they do reference these 3 specific powerful box entity things that are all powerful, but they're 3 in 1. They're like 3 different parts, but they're also one thing. It's kind of like a weird reference to the Trinity. It's used by the villain Steppenwolf in the movie, which is maybe kind of a weird mockery to the Trinity. I don't know, maybe I'm looking too far into that, but it was just odd the way they were like, it's 3 parts, but it's one of this powerful entity. I was like, nah. However, one of the best themes going on with the movie is a theme of redemption for a lot of the characters, specifically Batman. Batman struggles with a lot of guilt because of what happened in Batman v Superman, where he was fighting him and ended up leading him and weakening him to where he could be killed by Doomsday. And redemption is such a great theme because we all can relate to it. It's a symptom of living in a fallen world. We know we're all inherently flawed and we're going to need a savior, and we have to be redeemed because of that. Ephesians 1:7 says, in him, in Jesus, we have the redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins in accordance with the riches of God's grace. And so we love watching characters struggle with things in their past to overcome those in future events, to be redeemed. It's a great moment. What is also cool is Batman, through his redemption, looks back on Clark and sees the incredible necessity that the human race needed. He specifically is like, no, as humans, like, we needed that hope. We need him back. We need that idea again. Like, that hope gave them so much purpose. He realizes that Superman was needed because it gave the people something to believe in. It's a really cool kind of theme throughout, even though it's, like I said, it was never really fleshed out because they did so much in an hour or a 2-hour movie. Now, like I said, there's a lot of problems with this movie, but it is a really fun movie to watch. It's a thrill ride from start to finish. So if you guys get a chance to go to the theaters and watch it there, please do it. And the upcoming movies should be pretty good. I'm Ben Davies with The Real Rebel Review. Alright, if you like this video and others like it, please consider becoming a premium member to The Rebel. That way you'll have first access to Pure Hollywood and the entire Rebel lineup.